I politely walked back into the venue. Let me stand up so you guys can see. See that? That's what big boobies would do. Now, and then here's my side view. See that? Okay. So I go back up, and the chick was looking at me like, where'd she go with that camera? Because she couldn't have walked all the way back to the car, though they didn't know that we had parked right there by the north gate. But, you know, they were like, damn, what she do with that camera? Y'all, I walked back on through, gave her my little ticket. Boom. I didn't have no purse or anything because here we're parked right outside the gate. So, you know, hell, if I need to go to the car, boom. You know, go to the car, whatever. And so, you know, I didn't have no purse or no extra nothing in my hand or anything. I politely walked back in. So when I go in, I went straight to the ladies' bathroom, and the line was long outside the bathroom, right? So the line was long, so I was like, well, I don't need to use the bathroom. I'm just going to go in through the exit, you know. And so I go in through the exit, women are washing their hands and stuff. So I just politely pulled out my little camera, politely did one of these numbers, put it on my arm, pulled out my lens over here. Then I went through the top and made sure the little nipples and things was back lined up, you know, because you know it kind of look crazy when you got one nipple going up, other one going down. It kind of look kind of crazy. I always have 4 boobs because my bras just don't fit. Michelle, I know that my bras don't fit, Mama. I'm getting a breast reduction though, and I won't be able to do such things. But as of right now, I could put a whole chicken. I could put a whole chicken in my breast. I could put a whole bottle of wine in my breast. You see, I put my Cannon Rebel in my breast. In my breast, when I do go out, when I do tend to go out and such, I put my keys and everything else in my breast, my phone and every damn thing else in my breast, and do it moving after that. It just is what it is. That is one thing that big titties will do. It will definitely camouflage some things and keep the things rolling. So, anyway, so needless to say, my New Year's was nice. It was nice. It was fun. Me and the kids, we had a good time. We ate, we hung out, blah, blah, blah. It was beautiful. Okay. Days after that, I still kind of laid around, you know, knowing that I needed to upload the video of the day of, you know, of the New Year's Day. I still haven't, but I'm going to do that today. My point is to do that today. Um, and so anyway, me and Mr. Malibu have been conversing, you know, going back and forth. And, you know, it's like, what do you get a man that has like everything? You know, that has everything. I mean, this man, you know, have mansions and BMW B7s, and you know, I mean, this is his lifestyle, and this is the way he rolled, and this is what he owned. You know, he's a businessman and a powerful man. What do you get those type of people? So I was like, okay, well, I wish you health. I'll give you health, and I will aid in abetting on getting you healthy. Not to say he's not healthy, because he is. And but you know, just because you might not have a weight problem, that don't mean that your ass is healthy as a lamb. That don't mean that. That just means that, you know what, guess what? You just don't have a weight problem. That don't mean your ass is healthy. It's people that don't have a weight problem that's walking around with diabetes and all kinds of shit. Hell, I'm as big as a motherfucker, but I ain't got diabetes. I ain't got high blood pressure. My cholesterol is low. Holla. You know, I don't have none of those problems. My knee, now the left knee click a little bit. I can't drop it like it's hot and get low and wind it back up like I used to. But nonetheless, for the most part, I'm pretty healthy. Got a fibroid, but so anyway, I'm pretty healthy. I can't complain. But anyway, so as the days followed and everything, let me get on to this weekend. Family, how about I had a fire in my house last night? I did this video actually last night. I did this video last night. I had on something different, of course, but I did this video last night. But last night I had a fire in my home. Isaiah decides to take it upon himself to go inside of his room and play with matches and axe. Okay? I probably will put a picture on my Facebook, probably. I don't know, it's kind of a fine line. I'm going to turn in Child Protective Services, and I'll do, motherfuckers always got some kind of shit to say about something, okay? But, I'm back here in my room. I was making the video, and I had to stop the video because I'm hearing mayhem in the house. Tony was in there. Tioni was frying chicken. She was frying chicken wings. Tony was in one of the rooms. Anthony was in a room, and Isaiah was in his room with the door closed. Tioni's room was over here, but her door was closed to her room, so, she was in the kitchen with the dogs. So all of a sudden, I'm hearing all this commotion, like, what's going on? And I'm hearing Tony, get some water, get some water, get some water. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Family, I got the fuck up. I'm like, what's going on? I come down the hallway, and I'm seeing smoke, like, what the fuck? Okay. It was crazy. So I, immediately I go into action. I got a big towel, and I was like, my thing was to smother the fire. Okay. So I goes in there, and I'm like, Tony, move. Just because Tony he was helping, but he was also getting overcome by the smoke, and he was inhaling the smoke. So he was, getting weak and gagging and coughing and damn it about to throw up and all kinds of shit. Me, nigga, I was on some, nigga, this is Compton. It's time to get into action. Ain't no time for no bullshit. We ain't got time to be stuck. We ain't got time to be trying to figure out none of that motherfucker. Nigga, it's time to, handle this. Baby, I ran to the kitchen, and my daughter was like, Mommy, what do we do? What do we do? I said, give me some water pronto. So I opened up the bottom of the sink, and so Tioni said, do you want the fire? I said, give me the fire extinguisher. Baby, let me tell you something. That motherfucker wasn't even in the box good. I can't even tell you how I got that shit out that box so goddamn quick. And mind you, of course it got that thick ass clear tape and shit. Shit, I yanked all that shit up. I was like, you know what? Not today. You ain't finna take over my home where me and my kids got to live and sleep. Fuck that fire. You getting ready to get the fuck up out of here. Tony, move. Tony, Anthony, over there. Isaiah, you get out the way. Tioni, I got this. It's me and this fire. I didn't have on no mask, nothing. My hair was completely white. And it needs to be washed now because it's still consumed of all kind of smoke and all kind of other shit. But guess what? I went in Isaiah's room after I saw that me trying to extinguish the fire by smothering it didn't work. And I'm seeing that Tony's being overcome, and he leaning over and all this kind of shit ready to clock out. I was like, oh, hell no. Fire, it's me and your ass in this room today. So I got the fire extinguisher, and I just was... Isaiah's room is completely white. It is fucked up. It is fucked up in my baby's room. What he did was, it just basically was his dresser. He was playing with matches on his dresser. He was taking his axe. He would light the fire, take the axe and spray it so that it'd sparkle, and I guess some shit it was trying to do. Family, I went into a whole different mode. My kids was looking at me like, my mama's a firefighter. Mama, you really are. After that was over with, my son was like, Mama, you really are fucking what? Of course he didn't say fucking because my kids, they already know, do as I say and not as I do. But my son was like, Mama, you really are Wonder Woman. I mean, because... yeah, Daddy was here, but Daddy was like, and shit, I was grabbing Tony. I said, come on. Because I wasn't finna go out like that. Nigga, we still got the same last name and all that. I ain't going out like that. I grabbed Tony, and mind you now, Tony is 6'1", every bit of maybe 230, right? And so Tony was getting overcome by the smoke. And mind you, the smoke was so full, it was like, oh my God, you can't see your hand. Okay? That's how much smoke. I mean, y'all can't see it because y'all in my room. But in Isaiah's room, it's just I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna have to call my insurance company. I gotta go get him some more clothes because everything that was in his room just basically, all of his clothes and his drawers and stuff just burned, underwear, everything, everything, everything. And I beat that ass. Let me just say that right now. So if anybody else working for Child Protective Services and whatever want to come see about me, I got that ass. Because he needs to know. Just as a kid, I burned up the back room in our house in Compton. I got my ass drove. I got the shit beat out of my daddy beat the dog shit out of my ass. And still to this day, I remember that ass whooping. And so I know that fire is something that you just don't play with. So, and I was telling Tony while I was still trying to, make sure, because after I was, check this out, I was so much of a beast. After I was extinguishing that fire, let me tell you something. I pulled that whole dresser out of that room while everybody is sitting over here about to throw up and gagging and snotting and shit. After I extinguished that fire shit, I went in there, I grabbed my son's dresser. It's still in my lungs a little bit, but anyway. I grabbed my son's dresser, drugged that shit out, threw that shit out in the yard because it was still kind of smoking because by all his socks and shit being balled up in his drawers and shit, it was still burning, but it was still kind of smoldering kind of. The flame was gone, but it was still kind of smoldering because it was so much socks and shit. You know how kids stuff their drawers up in socks and shit be shirt sleeves and shit be hanging out. That's how his dresser was. Okay, so family, I just went into action mode. I was like, not today. You ain't finna overcome my home and take over my family. The devil is a liar. And not today. We ain't doing this. Not on my watch. And just so happened I was here. Because yes, I do go over to Kenny's house and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, after Ray Lewis and them beat that ass, I came home yesterday. And I had, went to Target and all that kind of stuff, and then I started dinner. I got dinner started so that Tioni can finish because my daughter's now 13. It's time for her to be able to put together a full meal. I'm talking about the protein, the starch, and the vegetable. I need a full meal. I need to see color. I need to see green. I need to see yellow. I need to see color on your plate. And so these are the things that I'm now instilling in my children right now. That's what, my daughter is learning, as well as my sons, on how to prepare a meal and to have, a plate look palatable. Not only that, but it has the different food groups and such. So, family, so yesterday was something else. So needless to say, it's another day. The ass whooping is over with. My son came in here this morning and he just came over to the side of my bed and he just hugged me and said, "Mommy, I'm so sorry. I could have really made a lot of damage and I could have really done some things that were really, really bad. And I realized what I done, Mommy, and I'm sorry. I am so sorry. And I understand why I had to get my butt whooped yesterday." That was it. No problem. No problem. And it was like I told him, there's no hard feelings, but you need to know that this is something that you cannot do. Playing with matches is a major no-no, and it can definitely change up the dynamics of a whole bunch of things. Your dad worked hard to get this home for us. All these furnishings and things, all this shit costs money. So now he no longer has DirecTV in his room because it burnt the cable. But mind you, his TV was on a different dresser. So, but his fish aquarium, he has a fish aquarium about this high in his room, and it's like the octagon, okay? The water is all murky and shit is all fucked off in there. But being that the fish, he didn't have any fish in it, but he would still keep it lit. His fish died. But he keep it lit and shit with the pretty rocks and and all that. It's very, very beautiful aquarium. And so, but the water and shit, so all that shit got to be just. So last night, him and Tony went in there, and Tony was, discussing with him, the importance of, of being, being responsible, and the safety on things and what not to do. And, things could have went really, really wrong. Things could have went really, really bad. Because if Mommy was not here, I was doing the best that I could. But Tony was like in shock. He was like just in shock. And it's like I've known Tony for 20 years, and at that moment he needed me, and I needed to stand fully present, and I had to do what I had to do for my family last night. So courageous to me. I'm not looking for no accolades or anything like that. I just did what a mother, what a wife, and what a friend would do for anyone. And when it comes down to your cubs, ladies, you have to do anything and by any means necessary to keep your children in your home safe and satisfied. And I am her. That is what I do. So I am going to sit here and I'm going to watch Nini and Greg. And that's my plan. Oh, also, what are my plans for the new year for me? I plan on losing another 25 pounds. That is my goal. Last year I lost 25 pounds. I lost more like 28 pounds for the year of 2012. And I want to lose another 25 pounds. That's good enough for me. I've never been skinny, so I don't know what skinny is. I don't even know what skinny will look like even on me. I am a woman of a particular age, and being skinny just ain't the thing for me. And my thing is, just like I say, just like I told the network, I'm a thickie. I mean, that's who I am. I only ask that I will give you guys whatever it is that you guys ask of me, as long as I can keep it professional, as long as I can be myself, and as long as I can keep it 100. We can do whatever you want to come out with. We can do all of that, right, Laura? No problem. I just want to keep it 100. That's it. But I do want to also look the part. I do want to be able to talk the part. I don't want to. I saw a video here. Somebody sent me a video, and this young lady was calling so many motherfuckers out. I was like, oh my God. I was wondering, do I sound that way? Because she was, oh, I'm going to tell you right motherfucking right now. And, bitch, if your motherfucking ass whoop the whoop motherfucking whoop whoop whoop, and if your motherfucking ass do this one more motherfucking time, I said, oh my God. That fucked me up. I was like, okay, I know I have a pouty mouth. Okay, I'm going to always have a pouty mouth. But I do want to refrain just a little bit and not call too many motherfuckers out. I know. Nene and Greg. Look at Greg. I like Greg. Greg got his teeth fixed, y'all. Greg's grill is bad. Okay? Greg got his teeth fixed just like Nene, and his shit is bad. Shout out to the older cats that eat pussy. I ain't mad at none of y'all. That's what they do. That is what they do. And I ain't mad at none of that. If you don't get you an older cat in your life, in your rotation, some kind of way, shape, or form, I ain't mad at the young cats, because the young cats do have stamina. Older cats don't have that kind of stamina like that. But they will suck the fuck out some pussy. Let me just say that right now. And Nene, I ain't mad at you. You also got a Mr. Malibu and all that kind of stuff. I can identify her with her. Though she's a Sagittarian, me and Sagittarians, we don't totally see eye to eye on some things. Well, me and my sister doesn't. Let me just say that. I can't put all Sagittarians in the whole bucket, because all Sagittarians probably ain't going to roll the same. But me and my sister right above me, she's a Sagittarian, and we are like oil and water, like on some real shit. But Nene, as of now, very cool. So anyway, let me go. Let me watch my girl and see what's going on this right here. But I just wanted to come in and give you guys an update, let you guys know what vaguely what I have in store and what it is that I'm working on and what I plan on doing and incorporating onto the network and onto this platform. And my hope is that you guys enjoy the ride. And I love you guys. I love you guys for watching, and you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day. Happy New Year. I love you. Bye-bye.